Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna do my must-have brushes. And you know, it's funny, I know when I do like looks and tutorials and all that kind of stuff, I don't always say which brush I'm using. Sometimes I do, but not every single time. And I don't know why, it just doesn't come out, I don't know. But I realize I pretty much do use, I think in my head, I've said it before and I pretty much stick to those brushes, and that's the truth. Like, I really do. I'm not saying this list of brushes that are my must-haves couldn't change, but these work for me. They really, really do, and I've used them now for at least a year, at least, and I just really, really like them, and I feel like I have 11 brushes. A couple are higher end, but not even, most of them are not, and I like them. So anyway, I thought that I would share with you guys what my must-haves are. I will link them below as well, and yeah, we'll just do it. Why not? I've never done one like this specific to brushes. To start though, I will say, because I'm looking at this and I don't technically have like a foundation brush, which is pretty standard, right? But Beauty blender. I know it's not a brush, but it's in place of, and I just love a beauty blender for my foundation. I have a foundation brush. I'll show you guys which one would be my favorite, and it's the Sigma F80 flat brush. I like it, but I just always go to a beauty blender for foundation. So I mean, maybe this is an extra. This would be my go-to, but I just don't go to it. Does that make sense? Beauty blender, I love them. I have heard that the Real Techniques ones, the orange sponge one that you can get like Ulta and I think even maybe like Target and Walmart and stuff, but I've heard it's really, really good and comparable and definitely cheaper, but I've just never tried it myself to say for sure. But I'm a beauty blender girl. I like them. I've used them now for over a year, and that's what I do. Yeah. But let's go into our other face brushes. This brush here is by Real Techniques, and actually a few of these are, and it's the blush brush, but if you look at it, it's pretty dense and it's pretty big. I don't use this for blush. I suppose you could, but I don't. And I really, really like this for those days where I'm not gonna do a heavy contour or even really a heavy makeup look, at least for my face, but I love to use this for just bronzing my face. I'm not gonna call it a contour, but a true, just give it some color. This is my go-to, and I just kind of whoop, boop, boop, done. And sometimes here. And this works for me. I love this thing, and these ones are very affordable at Ulta. They have them at multiple places now, and I love them. So this one for sure, for just that light day, give yourself some color, call it good, but I suppose you could use it for a blush as well. Next one, we'll stick with that same brand and everything, but this is for contouring, and it's so funny because I don't know that if a lot of people do this or not, but I love, and it's sort of similar to like a foundation brush, but it's a stippling brush or stippling, however you say it, and I love this for a contour, and I just literally go at an angle and just carve it out. And for me, this works. I've always wanted to get my hands on the NARS Ita brush, and I feel that obviously, you know what I'm talking about, it's kind of a flat, thin brush, and it makes sense. It literally, there you go, you just gave yourself a contour. But I kind of heard mixed things on it too, that like it sheds a lot, and is it worth $50? Yes and no, I've heard both. But I feel that really, although I'm sure it would be nice to have, and I probably would use it, this works for me. If I just use this at an angle, it's clean cut, it's good. So I love this, and I think it's a good alternative for something cheaper, and it is a must-have for me. I use it all the time, and I mean, most of these brushes you're gonna see are probably gonna be very familiar to you, and you've seen them because they really are my go-tos. And I have a lot of extra brushes, and it's not that I don't use them, but these are my must-haves. Next one is, for sure, I can't picture a better one, and it's the Kat Von D Shade Light brush, and this would be for contouring, but I always use this one, very similar to the blush brush actually, but smaller, and I love this to set the under eye. That's what I always use. I don't think I use anything else for that matter, actually, for that. But what's funny is on the other side is technically like for contouring, and I don't use it for that. I don't love this kind of shape, even though it makes sense, because I feel like this, if used at an angle, just gives me a like cleaner look. So I don't think the brush is bad, it's just not my preference. But this right here, that's the one. I think it is the best one, hands down. Picks up product so well, dense but super soft, and it just fits. It fits right under the eye. Boom, done. Hands down, we get this. This is a higher end one. I don't remember the price off the top of my head, but I want to say it's like 30 something. But I mean, technically you are getting a double-sided one too, and I don't regret it at all. For blush, now is this technically a blush? Yes. For blush, I love, and this is just an Ulta brand brush, and it's their blush brush, and I actually do use it for that. I really like it. Again, I think it just picks up product well. It's very simple, but I just kind of like to do right there in my contour. That's just how I like to put blush on, and this works for me. I like it, and I use it every time I do put on blush. Last one for like face is this is from Ulta as well. And Ulta I'm going to consider like drugstore affordable too, because theirs aren't bad. I think their most expensive one is like 15 maybe, 20 maybe, but it's pretty affordable. And this is just their all over like powder brush, and I do like this a lot just for literally all over. Just put some powder on. This is what I use. I like it because it's got that duo fiber as well, and so again picks up product so well, blends well. I mean, I'll even do it like over for like if I went a little heavy handed, and just to blend out too. So this is my go-to, and I've used it for so long and I love it. Now moving on to eye brushes, and I pretty much do stick to my few. Now I just recently even got some Morphe ones and some different ones into my collection, and I've been using them and I love them. But because I've been tried and true to some of these for so long, I'm not going to include those ones, even though I think they could be a favorite. But ones you'll see like all the time that I used them today, I mean I use them all the time, is It Cosmetics, and I really like their brushes. But I have two of their eye brushes, and you'll see me just switch switch through these two often. This one I love for just more of that like true blending, to get that kind of gradient effect. It's perfect for it. And this one is their Airbrush Blending Crease Brush, number 105, and I just love it. I use this all the time. It does not shed at all. It is still kept its shape well. It's been washed numerous times, and it just works for me. I love it. And then with that, I think it's even called still a blending brush, precision shadow brush, and I think it's still good for like blending, but it is more dense and it's smaller, so I kind of like to use this in my crease, kind of blend that in my crease. I love this. Sometimes I'll even use this for like on my lid too, but I think they're universal. I think they work well. These are my favorites for sure. So for the next one is for either putting on like today like a pigment, or wanting that real like pristine sharp look on your lid of a color. I know this is kind of random, but this brush it's just a flat brush. This came in, it's from NARS, and it came in the dual intensity eyeshadow palette, and I usually use this with like Fix Plus on it too, and I just love it. It's dense, but it works. It's soft, and I know this is kind of weird, but like when I like smudge out on the bottom, I usually use this brush and just use like the end of it. I don't need like a smudgy brush. I mean, I'll use those too, but like this works. This works for me. So I really like this, and I mean, I wish they could find, I don't think they sell these though like individually. I mean, flat brush is kind of a flat brush. I say that, but you know, here I am like this is the one. But yeah, I used it since then. Now it's completely out of the palette, and I keep it out because this is my go-to and I love it. Okay, last one is my tried and true holy grail must have, works for me. Today I'm actually wearing the Anastasia pomade on my brows, but I used it for that. I use it for just powder. It's my brow brush Yes. And I just did a brow routine, by the way, too, and I'll link that below, and I talk about this brush in there too. But this is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's in the number 7. It's their smaller version. I'm sure I'd love the big one too, but I don't have it, and I've just always used the smaller one, and I love it. Love it. Love it. I sound like nasally. I don't know. And it's just angled perfectly to me. I love this. It has the spoolie at the end. It's good. I love it. There's not much to say about it. I just feel like what's so fancy about it, I don't really know, but I think again, it's like one of those when a brush to me picks up product very well and still is to work with, I think that's your brush. That's the one you want. I feel like, you know, there's certain brushes out there. Let me show you actually. I have a Wet n Wild like face powder brush, and here, it's not that this brush is bad. I'm not gonna say that, but you know, I mean, at the end of the day too, if you're only spending a couple bucks, you can't expect necessarily, sometimes they can be holy grails, but not necessarily, you know, and I think we all know that. But I think that what the problem with this is it's soft. That's great, that feels good. I don't feel like this picks up product well. That's my problem with it, is like you're constantly dipping into it and it's just not like transferring to your skin the way you see it on the brush. I don't know, it just doesn't work for me as much as some of these other ones, and I feel like I'm a big fan of it. And pretty much besides that one blush brush, which does work well for me, is everything I have is like that duo fiber brush, and that's the difference here too, is this is not. And I just feel like those are the ones that really pick up product, and that's what I like. I think most of mine are very affordable. I just have a couple that are higher end. The It Cosmetics ones, they're kind of middle ground to me as far as like price. I want to say this one was 20, one was 15, something like that. Again, I'll link it all below, but not terrible. Some brushes, like MAC brushes, you know what's funny is I don't own a MAC brush. That's crazy. Let's all take a moment. I don't, and I hear they are fantastic, but I never had the urge to really go get one, because I feel like what I do have has worked so well for me, and now I've got like a feel for it, and it's like I can just do it. I don't know. But yeah, I would love to know in the comments what your favorite must-have brushes are, and it doesn't have to be every single one for this, and this, but just when you think of your favoriteest brush, which one is it? Because again, I'm impressionable and I will try it. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching as always. Please subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you guys very soon. Mwah!